I'm Zoe Delahunty-Light, and after a 2-year break, I've started to play Glumberland's Ooblets once again. When I first tried it, Ooblets had just entered early access and was a bit bare bones, so I wasn't too enamoured with it. After 2 whole years though, the amount of updates, care and attention that's been funneled into Ooblets has made it blossom into a fantastic experience, and I am utterly obsessed with it at the moment. So much stuff has been added and improved, from brand new mechanics, locations and Ooblets to simple quality of life tweaks. So it's time for me to tell you what all those improvements are. Here's 14 reasons now is the perfect time to play Ooblets. First up, the big thing that's been added to Ooblets is that there are more locations to travel to in Gimble's Balloon, and different things to do in those locations. Usually you're put through a gauntlet of dance battles the first time you enter these realms. However, this can get repetitive, so thank the Ooby stars that Port Forward has made its way into the game. This nautical-themed pier town doesn't have dance battles to make your way through, instead facing you with arcade games, each with their own specific minigame. There's also another hidden minigame that you'll eventually unlock, but I don't want to spoil that reveal for you. Plus, even though it doesn't have any minigames of its own and is just about dance battles, I'm still a sucker for spooky nullware too. Back in the day, the Wildlands was completely fenced off in development terms, with the gate and notice board being placeholders until the content got added, and it was worth the wait. Now that the gate is unlocked and the notice board is working, you're treated to the Wildlands' unique time-limited challenges that, unlike other activities in Ooblets, are actually done in real time. So if it says a new challenge will start in 17 minutes, it means 17 minutes. I love this, as having this small select amount of real-time challenges means you can't rush through them and actually have to be patient, wait for the challenges to become available, then fulfill them and start the process all over again. In a game where, like Stardew Valley, it's easy to sprint through the early stages of the game as you can simply sleep to bring on the next day, these time challenges slow down the pace of Ooblets and force you to savour it. To my delight, the main quest line is freshly fleshed out the deeper into Ooblets you get, which I won't explain any further because spoilers. All I'll say is that it concerns the enigmatic Ooblets Council and the Ubernet Towers, and has me intrigued. Having the breadcrumbs of this story threaded into the task you do for Mayor Tinsel makes me feel like there's a proper purpose for filling a basket full of treats, yet it's not shoved in your face and is more like an undercurrent running through Ooblets. A fair amount of juggling and forethought is involved in terms of which Ooblets you keep around, as your farm has a maximum amount of freely roaming Ooblets it can contain. What this means is that you do have to craft Oob coops and carefully choose which Ooblets to keep within them and turn into little farmers with hayseeds in case you need them in a battle, and consequently which Ooblets to release into the Wildlands. Oob coops improve your farming skill and how fast crops grow, so the way Ooblets, crafting, farming and battling all tie into each other is balanced really well. Gummies are the rarest of Ooblets, and as well as looking pretty, sparkling and leaving a glowy trail behind them, there's a reason besides aesthetics to keep them on your farm. Allow them to roam free, and from time to time they'll dig up some obsidian, a rare material that you will need for crafting and upgrades. I love that Gummies actually have a purpose that makes them worth the faff of finding and catching them. Not only do Gummies give you obsidian, you're also incentivized to catch Gummies and the quote-unquote unusual Ooblets, as you get more gummies for scanning them at Rugnolia's Learnery. Gummies are quite hard to come by early in the game, so this is one of the few ways to earn them quickly. What an elegant solution. NPCs, despite spending most of their time in Badge Town standing around or dancing, what an existence, have a tendency to take their eyes off their Ooblets and let them wander away. Occasionally they'll call upon the local blow-in farmer, you, to go and find their lost Ooblets who have hidden themselves away in Badge Town. Hide and seek with Ooblets is actually pretty hard sometimes, as they're hidden away in corners of the map, in shops, or even chilling away on shelves. Reuniting these Ooblets with their owners is a fun little activity that breaks up your usual routine of farming, dancing, and crafting. When you get far enough in Tinsel's tasks, a huge new part of Ooblets opens up. You can run your own shop in Badge Town. Stocking items, decorating the shop, and tending to customers is your main purview in the shop, with it going further than just selling stuff. You can even learn what the good people of Badge Town like best and stock it to make the most profit you can. If all that sounds overwhelming, don't worry, as you choose when your shop opens and closes with the sign in the front window, so if you'd prefer to focus on farming and dance battles, then that's completely fine. As someone who prefers to focus completely on one task at a time, I love that this shop is patiently waiting until you're ready for it. The more you talk to the NPCs, the more your friendship meter goes up. Duh. However, when you get to a certain point, eventually you'll be faced with the mini-est of minigames. You have to pick the right option in this multiple choice kind of dialogue scenario. Good enough friends of these NPCs won't have any trouble with this, as providing you've paid attention to their dialogue and therefore know them well enough, you can pick the option that garners the most approving response. Choose correctly and your relationship gets a huge boost, and you're closer to getting even more friendship stickers from them. After playing Ooblets, I find it outrageous that friendship stickers are not a thing we do in real life, to be honest. Resources are always in demand, and it's rare for me, personally, to have a surplus of anything apart from spore bits and cranberries, and that goes quadruple for clothlets. Although that might sound like a pain in the proverbial, this is actually a good balance that's hard to strike between resources that you need and how obtainable they are. What this means is that you can't sprint through crafting recipes or requests and instead have to patiently forage multiple times throughout the day to find or grow the stuff you need. The wishy well is always there though if you need a clothlet in a pinch, as God knows I always do. Everything but the most basic of seeds are pricey, but Mead is a savvy businesswoman, so she knows the value of a good sale. Seeing what's discounted each day in Mead seeds adds an element of refreshing unpredictability to my day, as you do need to anticipate the future in Ooblets or you'd be left waiting days for your crops to grow. Plus, if you're short on gummies, you can always wait for a sale, which is a necessity early on in Ooblets. There's an Ooblet called Plob that is useless for the dancing bit of dance battles as it doesn't garner any points. However, its shimmies instead give you resources. Plob is one example of how dance battles and Ooblets aren't just about winning quickly anymore, as they're now really handy if you're running out of planklets, as you can employ a completely different strategy. Instead of focusing on winning, delaying the end of the dance battle by using stun and fluster cards enables you to farm resources through Plob. So far, I haven't come across any other Ooblets that are similarly designed for dance battles, like they give you gummies or a speed boost after the battle or something, though I haven't yet unlocked all the locations in Ooblets yet. Love that Glumberland, the team behind Ooblets, has diversified the Ooblet types a bit more though. Challenges from the Mimpins, Frunbuns, Peak Snubs, and Moss Sprouts clubhouses, I didn't have to name them all but they're so fun to say, often involve doing stuff for other NPCs, which makes the world feel interconnected. Some involve activities you might otherwise ignore too, like the Mimpin's adoration of the Reconstitute and making sure it gets used adequately. And then finally, Ooblets has undergone a fair few quality of life changes that make a world of difference. I can't remember if this was in the first build, but forageables respawn during the day. Buying unique dance battle cards at the clubhouses is a thing you can do to bulk up your deck. You can keep track of the Ooblets you've scanned and their rarity in your almanac. Speed boosts are bequeathed to you after you win tournaments, and before you awaken each morning, there's a preview of the Ooblets that are going to appear in the region each day. And that's 14 reasons now is the perfect time to play Ooblets. For those of you on the fence about it, I hope I've convinced you that it's worth your time after 2 years of updates. Do you think you'll give Ooblets a try, or are there any other similar games you're into at the moment? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm always up for a farming, crafting, life simulator thing to play. If you enjoyed the video, thanks very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Eurogamer, as we have a new video out every single day. Now, I'm going to go and try and convince Ruganolia and Ara that we should be a throuple, so I'll see you next time.